Hi, I'm Craig Huey, President of Creative Direct Marketing Group, and welcome to our webinar. We're going to start in just a minute as people are joining us, and I have with me Caleb.
Hello, I'm Caleb Huey. I'm our Vice President of Creative Strategy here at Creative Direct Marketing Group, and we have some very good information for you today. Craig,
trends, these brand new trends that are going to increase your response and give you a whole new vision of what you should be doing. You know, Caleb, you're talking to marketers every day. You're seeing what's going on marketing-wise with our audience. What are you finding? What are you seeing?
Marketers have come back as far as the amount that they're spending because marketing is working today like it hasn't in the last decade. People are having a better return on investment than they did last year or the year before that or the year before that. And people are more willing to spend, not just on discretionary items, but on luxury and just about every segment. So the more money you put behind your marketing and the more intelligent you are with your marketing spend, the more money your company is going to make.
Right. It's really an awesome market. It's a growing market, and great things are going to be happening in the coming year. And that's why we want to make sure we cover these new trends. So as we do so, you know, we come from a standpoint of trying to help turn entrepreneurs into multimillionaires, large companies larger, whether it's consumer marketing or business-to-business marketing. We've got people listening in all over the world right now. Some are marketing to generate investment funds or contributions. Some have products. Others have services. Just a wide variety with a variety of different experiences. So as we go through this survey, we're going to go fast. We're going to make it actionable. We're going to make it concise. And we're building upon our experience of what's working in the marketplace and what's not. And we've always been committed. You know, the reason we have won 87 awards for marketing success is because we try to keep one step ahead. And that's what I wanted you to be able to do. Take a look at your marketing and stay one step ahead.
Yeah.
So let's get going right now. And as we do so, I'd like to show you a PowerPoint presentation. And go ahead, Nathan. So we're going to cover 29 new trends for marketing products and services. And we're so glad you're able to make it with us today and be able to get these ideas. And there is a chat room that you could ask any questions over on your right-hand side of your monitor. Feel free to send in the questions, and we'll do our best to answer them. Some people have already sent in some questions, and we'll go over some of those. So as we go through this presentation, let me just mention that we've got 29 trends we're going to be covering. And as we cover these 29 trends, let me just ask you, what do you want to be doing in the next 12 months? Generate more leads, more conversions, more sales, have a new product launch, or reposition an old product so that it's able to have more market domination. I'm going to show tested, proven secrets to supercharge response to your marketing and advertising. And we're going to look at, as you can see, a lot of different things, including some of the new things with Amazon, new things with direct mail, new things with Facebook. So pretty excited about what we're going to be covering. And as we do so, the first step is to take a look fresh at your marketing. It's time to reinvent it for the coming year. Re-examine your current company's marketing initiatives and assumptions. And that leads us to the #1 blunder marketers make. Caleb, you know, as we take a look at marketers, so many costly blunders are made. It's like money running through their fingers. It's terrible mistakes where they're losing money, market share, time. So what is it that can help stop that and turn that around?
Sure. The common misconception in advertising is that you have to have a pretty image, and it's image advertising versus direct response advertising. And direct response advertising is simply scientific advertising. We test everything. We have assumptions about things, and we don't know if we're right or not until we test it in the marketplace, and the marketplace decides by actually buying and responding to that advertising. So we test the messaging, we test the artwork, we test the media buying and targeting of the right individuals. At the end of every campaign, you should know your cost per lead, you should know your cost per sale, you should know the lifetime value of your customer, and you should be able to measure what pieces of your marketing are generating a positive return and what do you need to address and reinvent and reposition and revisit. What are you losing money on? Instead of taking a budget and throwing spaghetti at a wall to see what sticks, this is a way that we can scientifically approach your advertising methodically to make sure that you're going to be profitable.
Yeah, it's scientific advertising. And part of the scientific advertising leads us to trend number 1. And that's the new integrated multi-channel marketing. And this is increasing response pretty dramatically as we take a look at this graphic. Let's just take a look at what people are doing so successfully this last year, and they're going to be expanding this greatly next year. To the very same names, to the same audience that you target, you send direct mail, you have an Amazon ad, you have an email, you do a pre-roll commercial before a video that they see, you do a Facebook ad, you do Twitter, you do banner ads, all to the same names. And that increases response with this multi-channel integrated marketing campaign. And we're finding more and more marketers are doing that because it works so well. Now, when we do this, you can see this one campaign. You can see we did a Megalog, a landing page, banner ads, we did email, we did all these to the same names. And that created such a powerful campaign. Now, when we do this, Caleb, you want to talk about the second major trend, which is this custom list targeting?
Yeah, going back to integrating to the same names, we can use custom lists, which whether it be your past buyers or your buyer file or your prospect list, we can take those lists, upload those lists into the various platforms like Facebook and Google and Bing and advertise only to those individuals. Now, when we're doing a direct mail campaign, if we have 100,000 pieces of direct mail that we send out, the same 100,000 people that receive that direct mail piece will have that custom list of 100,000 names, upload them to Facebook and Google so we can target them with the different platforms. So when they go to their LinkedIn or when they go to search for something or they open their Facebook, your message is everywhere they go, both offline with the direct mail and online with the various platforms. It's the best way for you to intelligently integrate your message and marketing to a very targeted select group of individuals. Now, trend number 3 is expanding on that custom list idea. So if you're targeting the same 100,000 individuals with direct mail and integrating digitally, we're also able to create what's called a lookalike audience off of that custom list. Again, that custom list might be your buyer file, people that have bought your product or service in the past. All of those people have things in common, whether it's things in common that they buy or things in common that they click online. And we're able to identify those commonalities based on what's called metadata and then serve ads to other people that have that same kind of interest or buying behavior. With direct mail, we can take a look at a buyer file, people that have bought your product or service in the past, and then create a data model lookalike to that same group and send other people that are very likely buyers a direct mail piece. We can take that custom list of past buyers and do a lookalike to people on Facebook and Google and pre-roll advertising, which is a pre-rolled video TV commercial served online. All of these lookalike campaigns are using metadata. For instance, on Facebook, if you are doing a lookalike based off of a list of people that have bought your service in the past, that group of people consume content on Facebook. They click on things. They have a lot of things that they click on in common. Facebook sees that and algorithmically will then serve a Facebook ad to other people that also click on those kinds of things. It's very advanced. Now, trend number 3 on the lookalike audience, this is an example of transactional metadata, whereas in Facebook, it's clicking metadata based on what they're consuming content-wise. Now, the difference with this data model that you're looking at for transactional data, this is based on what people have actually bought versus what they're clicking on. If they're clicking on something, they're interested in it, but they may not be a buyer. Now, transactional metadata is collected on every individual in America. Every time you buy something, you're tagged with big data companies like Oracle for having bought that thing. In this case, you can see that this person is a high net worth individual. They spend $150 on denim. They subscribe to a travel magazine. We have access to their email, their address, their telephone number, and a lot more. We're able to take all of this information and intelligently build a data model or see what this buyer has in common with your other buyers. We'll pull out these pieces of metadata and then send a direct mail piece to other people that have this metadata in common.
Yes, and does it work? Yes, it works. It works so well. For example, in this one client's mailing, with non-model names, 1.8% response, but with the model names, 2.2. We've had even greater response. We've had larger universes, more precision. It really is a game changer for data modeling. And what I like about direct mail, it's transactional data. And
Yes.
what I like about Amazon, it's transactional data.
Yes.
Those two have a big advantage. Now, let's talk about Amazon. That's our trend number 4. You know, Amazon is amazing. It's powerful. It's dominating the market. And it's affecting prices everywhere. Now, I just wrote an article for our newsletter, Direct Marketing Update. Email me if you didn't get it. I'll be glad to send it to you. That tells you exactly how to market if you've got a product on Amazon. But it also tells how now anybody can market on Amazon. If you have an investment product, you can go to investors from Amazon Prime. If you've got a nutritional product, you can go to people who buy nutritional products on Amazon Prime. It's awesome. See, Amazon, they've affected everything from pricing to products to delivery. You know, the purchase of Whole Foods is so amazing. It's such an integration of direct marketing. And then these new marketing opportunities. These new marketing opportunities means that Amazon now will provide us with a custom list Caleb described, a lookalike audience that Caleb described, plus the targeted advertising where we can target by demographic, by psychographic, by product bot, so many different things. It's absolutely amazing and it's powerful. And I'm getting all my clients into it right now. We're excited about it. And, you know, we're still excited, though, about the trend number 5, which is Facebook.
Yeah, and Facebook is obviously a great tool for any marketer, especially if you're selling a product or if you need awareness online, whatever it may be. There are a lot of different ways to use it. Now, some of the success in Facebook has to do with your targeting. If you're going to go to past buyers and get them to reorder, you can send a custom list with very specific copy that addresses the reorder. You can do a lookalike campaign to the people that have bought your product or service in the past. You can use video, which is going to increase your response, and you can remarket to people. Now, remarketing, if you click on an ad or a prospect is on your landing page, clicks to buy and is going to buy and is in your shopping cart, and then they abandon that shopping cart. You can have different copy that perhaps gives a discount. that then remarkets to those individuals that have abandoned the shopping cart. The ad will show up in their newsfeed and bring them back to that shopping cart to finish their purchase. There are a lot of ways to do it, a lot of ways that you can make it a success, and a lot of different ways that you can target people on Facebook. Now, another method that a lot of our clients have used that have been very, very helpful for lead generation are the lead forms in Facebook. It's a very easy way to capture a lot of names very quickly, where a form is auto-populated when somebody wants to request some kind of information. So if you're looking to do a lead generation campaign to find people interested in your particular product or service or vertical, if we offer a free special report, people can auto-populate all of their information into the lead form and request that information. And now you have a hot lead. It's great for database building. Now, trend number 5, targeting on Facebook. Now, there are different kinds of ads. I briefly mentioned retargeting. I'll revisit that in a second, but tap to call is great. If you have a call center or customer service that can help people with their decision making, or if they're having trouble checking out, you can have a tap to call option where most of the traffic is viewed on people's mobile phones. They simply click to call and they are connected to the customer service representative. Now, geo-targeting is very interesting on Facebook. If you have a nutritional product or service, or for instance, in this case, Nature Box, you might want to target people that are walking in and out of Whole Foods. You can geo-target those people that are walking in and out of Whole Foods nationwide. If you have something geographically relevant, you can geo-target people or set a parameter for where you want your, what people within what geographic location you want to target that ad to. And then retargeting. This is an example of Nature Box, which is a continuity subscription to your door service of healthy snack options. And they are retargeting with a $10 off coupon. And this is for people that have abandoned the shopping cart, trying to get them back to complete their purchase. So this is a different ad than what you would have received to initially get you interested in the product or service in the first place.
Yep. And so Facebook is absolutely awesome. We have clients spending $10,000, $100,000, more, a lot of money on Facebook ads, and because we were able to make them work and work very, very well, and based upon some of the strategies. I think just a few other things to mention is that we get about 29% more clicks than Google when we use on mobile, and we get about 15% more conversions. And we try to make sure those ads, and we'll be glad to send you copies of ads if you like to see some, but the strategy is to use direct response copy. Got to use direct response copy to get the right type of response with the headlines and the body copy. And then you want to make sure that whenever possible, using video. In fact, Caleb, one of the things that you found, and you're always giving pushback to the creative team that we have about the image on the Facebook ads. You want to tell about your philosophy and what we've discovered in testing on the Facebook visuals?
Of course, yeah. The video, if you have a video that you can embed that auto plays for your ad, you're going to get a higher response. Also, when using images and selecting images, shy away from stock photos. Stock photos do not resonate well with audiences. The more real looking your photo, the more people are going to respond to it. It's a general rule of thumb. You want to have a more relatable image rather than a less relatable image.
All right, now trend number 6. I like trend number 6. So imagine you get in the mail an envelope that has a letter in it, and you get this envelope. And with this envelope, you are able then to take a look and see, wow, what is in here? You open it up, you see the letter, and then you get what we call the video log. So with the video log, it can be larger, it can be smaller, and you open it up, and what happens? a video plays. The video can be 60 seconds or 120 seconds. It can be 30 seconds. It could be 30 minutes. It's awesome. The power of the Videolog is high response. It's the merging of direct mail, merging of video technology. And if you have a niche audience where you have a high margin, this is a perfect vehicle. We're doing this for some large companies and large organizations, but this coming year, we expect the prices to drop, so it's going to be open to more marketers. So think in terms of how the Videolog will activate people that no other marketing piece can. Then trend number 7, informed delivery. This is part of the direct mail revolution. Now, the post office is a postal monopoly. They're slow to react, slow to deliver. We're living under a threat of a postage increase, all kinds of terrible things with the post office, but they've done something really good and something really right, and that is with informed delivery now. Millions of people have signed up, and more are signing up every day, where they get an email showing them what is being delivered to their mailbox that day. That's awesome. People are anticipating and they're looking to see what their mail is. And that's where an image of your envelope now is so important, that you have powerful teaser copy to have that person remember that when they get that mail, that they want to tear open that envelope and see what it is. Now, the images are black and white. Your envelope can be color if you want to, but it's got to come across with a black and white photo that the post office sends to the people getting their mail. And this coming year, we expect Engage 1 will happen, where when they get that email, not only will they see the image of the mail that's being delivered, they're also going to be able to click on that to a landing page, to see a video, a variety of other things. It's taking direct mail to a whole different level, which leads us to a whole different level with trend number 8, direct mail remarketing. Caleb, you want to explain this powerful new direct mail trend?
Yeah, this is a very exciting new development in integrating digital advertising and in physical direct mail. Now, when a prospect lands on your landing page, we have the capability now to trigger a cookie that is appended for their physical address, home address, and we can then send them a direct mail piece. Now, we also have the capability to set parameters, because we don't want to send out too many costly direct mail pieces to non-prospects that are bouncing. So for instance, we can say, I want to send a direct mail piece retargeted to anybody that has been on my website for more than 10 seconds. Or I can say, I want them to have clicked to a second page. Or I can say, I want to only send a direct mail retargeting piece to individuals that abandoned the shopping cart. We can set whatever parameters you would like, and we can custom tailor additional offers, discounts, what have you. Now, this is a huge response booster for a lot of individuals, and if you don't do this correctly, you can end up having some major blunders. Now, one common problem with direct mail retargeting is a lot of visitors to websites are on mobile. If the person is on their mobile device and they are connected to the Wi-Fi at Starbucks, you might be accidentally sending a direct mail piece to Starbucks. This can be remedied. So not all direct mail remarketing services are built the same. I'd love to help you guide you through that process if you are interested in this. But there are a lot of exciting developments. It's a huge response booster, and there is a lot that can be done to custom tailor it to your needs.
Right. And then the next trend, trend number 9, is the resurgence of direct mail. You know, we've mailed over 1 billion direct mail pieces for clients. I've tested over 10,000 variables. And a lot of people thought, wow, direct mail's dead. And this especially happened a number of years ago when direct mail response rates were dropping down and online marketing was rising. But you know what? There's been a huge turnaround. First of all, the turnaround because understanding of the quality of the mailing list is so important that you can only go to direct mail responsive names, but more importantly, this new transactional data that's available that Caleb talked about, where you are able to now create a lookalike audience of transactional data that dramatically increases response. It's brought direct mail alive again. And of course, you need to have a special landing page, but for the direct mail, and you need to think in terms of being able to look at the formats. So real briefly, there are a number of formats that we have. One's called the Megalog. It looks like a magazine, feels like a magazine, but it's not a magazine. And then the other one is that Bookalog. It looks like a book, feels like a book, but it's not a book. Now, in the Bookalog, business consumers use it. We generated 500,000 customers for one client just with the Bookalog, where it's 120 pages and it's mailed and people think it's a book, but it's selling your product and it's giving you credibility like you can't believe. And for some people, the book has actually gone on the New York Times bestseller and sold in the bookstores. Now on the Megalogs, millions of Megalogs. We're working on a dozen different Megalogs right now for different clients, where it's different types of copy on the outside, sidebars. This particular one, it shows a test we did on the cover. 2 different covers, same product. Which one do you think worked best? Well, the marketplace, of course, is always right. Most people are usually wrong. In this case, the one that worked the best, produced the highest return, was the rare FDA favorite. But that's why you test, to be able to see what works best. Now, with this also, direct mail resurgence is 3-dimensional marketing. We've helped create 3-dimensional marketing for Harvest Crusade, for a company going to lawyers and top corporate executives, just a variety of different audiences, financial planners, money managers. This one goes to some of the most skeptical audience. These are 2 different 3D pieces we created. One was scissors, where it showed how we cut costs for Gilcor, and another how a $1 bill did the power of $2 and got close to 20% response rate. The best we've ever had is close to 95% response rate, where we had a collectible coin for a brokerage company, and they had it in a nice set, and they got coin number 1 and the nice set to put on their desk, beautiful wooden case. And then if they didn't respond, they got coin number 2. But they couldn't get the 3rd coin until they responded. Response rates over 90%. And then we have these, a couple. One's a fishing box, one's a Hollywood theme to it. You have a clear theme to it for having the 3-dimensional piece. Now, envelopes are still successful. This one has been mailed millions of times for a Fisher in different variety with a 9x12. And this works very well. More and more, we're doing high-quality personalization. You don't want to use old-fashioned personalization. There are actually machines that use pens that write, and they look just like somebody hand wrote it. And even the traditional one works well. This is a client where we tried 2 different teaser copies. We had in there, checklist enclosed, so they had to open up, see what the checklist is. And in this case, between the 2 different headlines, the one that produced more than 25% more return was Godless Coins. And so you always test the envelopes. And every detail of a marketing piece in direct mail is important. For example, you have 3 choices of what type of stamps to use. You can do a metered envelope, you can do a printed indicia, or you can do a pre-canceled stamp. Well, here's the secret to success. Pre-canceled stamps will get you 10, 15% higher return. So always use the pre-canceled stamp. And the letter itself can look like a personal letter. It could have a picture on it, but it's got to follow the direct response copy secrets we're going to talk about in a second. In a letter, you never end that letter with a period on the front page. Now, what's the secret of a successful one? A successful direct mail piece is the letter. In this case, with a house mailing, 7.3%, because the letter is the most powerful part of a direct mail piece. Now, retromarketing, the Newsalog is a powerful, powerful piece. You know, newspapers across America, they're dying, but they're like a novelty when you get it in your house. And so we've created for Health Alert a Newsalog. And in that Newsalog, it basically in 2014 was the launch. 2013, nobody did a Newsalog. So we created this Newsalog, and kind of like what we found when we first innovated the Megalog, was that we were able to mail 5 million pieces in 2014 because the response was so tremendous. The Newsalog almost always beats any other type of direct mail piece right now. And usually it's about 20 pages long, looks and feels like a newspaper, but it's got one clear theme of generating that lead or making that sale for you. So trend number 11. Caleb, you want to kind of explain about 11?
Yeah. So if you're familiar with YouTube, you're familiar with video content, and you may be familiar with what's called a pre-roll advertisement, where you have to sit through a TV commercial before you can watch the content that you're looking to view. We can take a custom list that we talked about earlier and say, I only want to pre-roll a TV commercial to these individuals. I can say, I want to do a lookalike off of this custom list and pre-roll TV commercial to people that look like your past buyers or your prospect file. And then we can even do select channels on platforms like Hulu, for instance. Now, pre-roll advertising can be much broader than just YouTube. You can do pre-rolls on many different platforms. You can do it before they watch news segments, for instance, or market updates online. There are a lot of different platforms and services to do pre-roll advertising, and it's very effective. You can link it straight to your landing page with your offer and your calls to action.
I think every campaign we're doing the pre-roll commercial, you know, here's the thing. They work. I mean, like the Nassau Paradise Island Terrace Board, they've spent about $1 million this last year. Their completion rate for a 3-second video is about 20%. Now, YouTube allows viewers to skip the ad after about 5 seconds. And if they skip the ad, you're not charged. You're only charged if they watch the full 30 seconds. And the price per completion is about 8 cents. So, you know, it gets great response. It's low cost, and it's a powerful way to market. Caleb, you want to talk about the digital video explosion?
Yeah, I think it ties in well. When we are creating a campaign for different companies, we always embed a video on the landing page. Now, first and foremost, whether or not the prospect watches the video, we've noticed that when you show that there is a video to watch, you're going to get a higher click-through and response. So it's an interesting trend to see that they're interested since there is a video to watch, and then they may not watch it, but they'll still buy. So we always create a video to accompany the landing page. We then show an image of that video on the banner ad, so they know that when they click that banner ad, they have the option to watch the video. We do the same thing in the email, where on the right-hand side, we show a still image of the video so they know that they can click and they will be able to watch the video on the landing page. We have that video embedded in Facebook for a 30, 60, or 90-second version, auto-played in the Facebook ad. So again, if people are interested in the pre-copy or the sub-copy above or below the Facebook ad, that video is already rolling, and there's text at the bottom of that video that they can read and follow along, and you get a much better response. Twitter and Amazon, every time you use a video in your marketing, you're going to get a better response, whether or not the people actually end up watching a portion or any of the video.
Yes, and I should mention about the digital video. You know, we've created about 400 videos for clients. We do almost every campaign. We've got to have a video, but we're expanding the use of it. And for example, Facebook, you get a better response. Facebook actually gives you bonus points. You get actually more eyes on it because Facebook wants you to have video. But not only that, we have found in testing, having the words right within the video itself increases response, and Facebook knows that too, and they give bonus points when you have the words going along with the person talking or whatever the talking head might be saying. So make sure you use video, which brings to is how are we doing with cable TV and how are we doing with TV commercials? There's kind of a change that's taken place, and we're excited about cable TV. We're excited about TV advertising. We've done over 13 infomercials and hundreds of TV commercials. But Caleb, what are we seeing? Is the death of cable TV upon us?
Not necessarily. So cable TV is still a powerful direct response tool. You can still get a great return on investment. Millennials are obviously switching to platforms like Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime. Netflix and Amazon Prime, they have our premium subscription services, but Hulu, you can actually pre-roll and buy pre-roll commercial advertising before they watch those shows that they're consuming, just like you would for a cable channel. But non-millennials, there's still a very significant portion that watches cable TV every day, and they sit through the commercials. And that audience spends a lot more money than the millennial audience. So it is not dead. It still works. You can still get a great return on investment. But the thing to keep in mind is to test and measure to make sure that you are getting a good return on investment. So separate landing pages, testing different messaging, testing short form 30, 60, and 90 seconds, or maybe even an infomercial. There are a lot of ways to do it, and it is still a great driver of volume for a lot of companies and a lot of clients.
Yeah, and you know what? The infomercial is still powerful. We love doing it. We do get better response on the shorter commercials with a 60 than a 30, and with a 120 than a 60. So those matrix are still in place. And Caleb, do you want to go over the trend number 14?
Of course, the banner ads. A lot of people may criticize the use of banner ads as a driver of new traffic. And it really depends on the strategy. It depends on the vertical that you're in. What we've found is that when you have a lot of copy with a very bold hook, you can end up driving a lot of traffic. We have tested image banner ads versus these very, let's call them advertorial, copy-heavy ads. And we've found that the copy-heavy ads outperform the image ads. We've also found that having a still image of the video that I had mentioned outperforms having no video. And we've also found that remarketing to people that have visited your landing page or website is obviously the highest driver of traffic using these banner ads. And we can set parameters, like I had mentioned before, where we can only target people that have been on the website for 10 seconds or 30 seconds, whatever we would like, or maybe they've been on a certain portion of their website. They receive different copy. So there's a lot of customization that you can do. We can do the custom lists that I had mentioned and create awareness and repetition for a custom list audience. We can do a lookalike audience based on that custom list. I mentioned retargeting and remarketing. I mentioned the video. And again, this more editorial looking approach continues to outperform the image-based advertising and branding approach that we recommend for all of our clients.
And we do so much advertising, banner ad advertising, that we've learned you got to test and keep testing. You know, and the ad headline is going to be 70% or more of the success or failure of what you're doing, but it can be powerful in generating leads or sales. And you know, Caleb emphasized the whole thing with the retargeting. 10 times the higher response rate with retargeting than just conventional ads. Now, email, you know, the rules of email, they are changing. Any email that you send out to prospects who don't know who you are, what's going to happen is you're fighting against them automatically deleting anything that they don't know who you are or what it is. So obviously the subject line is absolutely critical. The from line is absolutely critical. And people basically, they only look at about 19 emails that they get from anybody that's not business or personal family. They'll look at about 19 emails. And if they ever delete you, they'll probably have you deleted the rest of the time. So you've got to break through that clutter, be relevant, have a good reputation, and make it rewarding. Always have value, like in this ad. Now, VectorVest, we've done all kinds of campaigns with VectorVest and launched them from 0 to over 100,000 subscribers, the largest online investment service in the world. But you know what? Nobody cares. That's why each email has to be a standalone unit. And this one says Wall Street's 4 biggest lies. Which ones cost you money? It's engaging them with something that's informational, something that is of value, that they learn something. Whether they buy or not, they always know they get an email from VectorVest, it's going to be something of great value to them. Now with email, there's prospecting email, and that of course is the most difficult. And so like in this case with this email, innovative new fat destroyer makes it easier for you to get rid of those stubborn pounds, dear friend. So it gets right into it. It shows the video because the video is so important to have in any email. You get an increase in response when you have a video. And you're always testing. You're testing a variety, headline. You're testing the subject line. Now, there's prospecting email, but there's also integrated email. Now, that works far better than prospecting. That's where you're sending an email to the same names that you're sending a direct mail piece to, a Facebook ad to, a banner ad to, an Amazon ad to. It's to the same group of people. And we're doing that as much as we can with that multi-channel marketing. And then the conversion emails. This is so critical. These are the emails that might be 2, 3, 4, 6-part series where you're going after your prospects, or in a shopping cart abandonment situation where you're doing a series that are intelligently planned out. Then we have the whole idea of personalized email. You see, email is changing a lot. It's becoming more personalized, more predictive, tied into your database. The more detail you have in your database that you can specialize the email to their interests, the better response that you have. And then number 17. So 17 is really critical on the profiling and pursuit, going after your leads. Caleb, do you want to talk a little bit about 17?
Sure. The image that you see at the top is a service called Lead Forensics. And there are a lot of different platforms like this where you're able to identify the individuals that are landing on your website that are reading different pages on your website, consuming content, and you have all of the data for who took those actions. You have that kind of data with your email click-throughs. There are platforms that help you intelligently track where people are viewing, what areas they're viewing and clicking on your landing page with hot buttons. Your database will automatically increase, especially with some of the lead forms that we had discussed earlier. And then pursuit. You want to be able to continue to reach back out to the individuals that have consumed that content or been on your website in different areas or clicked or viewed different things. Now, when a prospect for one of our clients clicks or is reading a certain section of one of our clients' websites, we will put them into a conversion email series. We will begin retargeting them with specific messaging tailored to what they were viewing. And then we want to engage them. We want to interact with them. We'll ask them questions, polls, and that's all in an effort to generate more data on what they're interested in, how they think, and then we can customize and tailor a message back to those individuals based on that data that we're collecting on them.
Now, the trend 18 has to do with mobile marketing. You know, we're getting well over 60% of the people, depending upon the platform, going to the website or landing page that we've created. They're going using mobile marketing. You have to make sure that everything you're doing is mobile optimized. But more than that, think in terms of your landing page on a desktop. It has a different construction, different feel, could be longer copy. It's visually different. But when you're dealing with a smartphone, people are going through it and very, very fast. You need to have the mind think in terms of structure. We've transitioned all of our mobile landing pages now to 5 powerful things you need to know, 3 surprising things that you should discover, something that the mind knows that what it is that you're about ready to say, and makes it structured, uses infographics, makes it a lot more simple. And it's so important that you do this because otherwise, if you have just a long set of copy, if it's boring, if it's not getting the job done, people are gone. And even Google itself, Google has changed from SEO. It used to be search engine optimization. They take a look at the desktop and they would rank it and they would put you on an order on Google. But now they look at the mobile only. That's all they're concerned with. And of course, you need also to think in terms of mobile down the road as far as voice searches and what you're going to be doing with that, which leads to texting. Texting is one of the most powerful ways of having people see what it is that you're offering. I get texts, I bet you get texts, and you look at them immediately. They drive me to a retail store. They drive me back to order. They're powerful. So we're using, as an integrated campaign, texting as often as we can. One of the things that we had is I had a client, and he's a Christian musician, and he was playing at a Chris Tomlin concert as kind of a warm-up act. And I told him, hey, here's what you do. There's 20,000 people in this audience. Let's put the text number up on the screen. Tell everybody to get out their phone, and you'll send a free download of that song to everyone who texts. Well, all over the stadium, people are holding up their phone, putting in the text. They're getting the download, but the client, he's getting their email address. He's got their text number. He's got their phone number, and he had the best Christmas he ever had. And so, texting, what can you do with it? On clients that have talks and speeches, we send it to the target audience, text messages, and we fill up that auditorium, we fill up that room with a lot more people because we're using text. In fundraising, texts are so powerful. The king of the texts is Donald Trump, and the text that he sends out generates millions of dollars because people see it immediately and they can't ignore it. So be sure to try to incorporate the texting. If you're not sure, because you have to jump a few legal hurdles, make sure you're doing it compliantly. We can help you with that, but it's a powerful way to market. Now, exhibit marketing. Just real quickly, with exhibit marketing, you want to have pre-show marketing. You want to make sure your booth follows the direct marketing techniques where you're not saying what your company is. You're having a powerful benefit to drive them in to start talking. And then you have a post-show campaign. But the key here is that you integrate email, texting, conversion campaign, prospecting, that you have a special campaign for your clients. You collect testimonials. And it's this integrated campaign for exhibit marketing to make it successful. Caleb, tell us about Trend 21.
Sure. If you're familiar with advertorial as a term that has been used for marketing, people are now calling it native ads. And native ads have really taken off lately as editorial looking content mixed in with other content online. Now, advertorial and native content was very unpopular for a while and has just exploded in the marketplace lately. There are whole advertising platforms dedicated to syndicating this native content around different content-based websites. So if you're selling a consumer product, you can have your advertorial content mixed in with other blogs that are talking about similar products and services. If you have something that you want to have more focused to the financial community, it might show up on Yahoo Finance. If you have something that is more business to business, there are platforms that can serve it to the right business audience. There are a lot of different ways that you can do this. The most important thing is having the right copy that doesn't feel like sales copy, but gets the benefits across and still has a call to action for them to click in some kind of offer. It's a very delicate balance of making sure that you're not off-putting them or feeling too much like a sales article while still articulating all of the benefits of your product or service.
All right, and then trend number 22 for e-commerce for retail. Not a lot of our viewers are into with retail stores, but let me just mention the impact of Amazon is huge on the retail space because people are checking the pricing. But the integration of Bluetooth and beacons and power devices and geo-targeting and precise targeting all are mighty ways of increasing response by using these direct marketing techniques we talked about. Then trend 23, that one has to do with the new payment systems that are going on. Make sure that you're ahead of the game with different type of payment options because it's a mega trend. With many, especially millennials, no one carries cash anymore, and the millennials in particular are not carrying wallets. So as shoppers enter the store, people now are tapping their smartphones and being able to get the charge that way. So what we're finding is that it's critical to take a look at Apple Pay and some of the other options. Caleb, do you have any other comments on that?
Yeah, the ways to pay are expanding daily, and knowing the different payment options and methods that you should be offering to your potential buyers is critical. If you need additional guidance on that, we're happy to help consult with you and provide you all of the different options that would be best for your product or service.
Then the other trend is understanding that editorial copy, journalistic copy, it just doesn't work online. It doesn't work hard copy. You need to have this direct response copy. And direct response copy has changed, but still created, it's a mega difference in persuasive word engineering. And with this, just a few thoughts about it. First of all, one of the greatest problems is what we call M squared. And what that is this. It's myopic marketing. It's people are just too close to their own product or service. That's why people send us material to critique and to review their marketing material. Because when you're so close to the product or service, you're blinded to what's necessary for your prospect. That all has to be done from the prospect's perspective. It has to have one clear theme. It has to be specific, and it needs to be conversational. It needs to sound like, you're carrying on a one-on-one personal conversation. When I critique copy, usually it says our company, we, us. It needs to be you-oriented. You'll discover, you'll learn. Let me tell you about it. It needs to be so easy to read. That's part of direct response graphics, in that, we have found that larger type font gets higher return. We have found that you get a 80% drop off in readership when you have reverse type, the white type on black. You need to be able to make it easy to read. And then drama and surprise. Always have different drama, have different surprise, where the person, especially in that first paragraph, they're not expecting it. It's something that is a little odd, a little curious, a little different, something that creates that drama. You're seeing on the screen, shocking government blunder, Wall Street's dirtiest secret, something with some drama and surprise to it. I still like the illustration of the airport, where out in the airport, everybody in the bar was sitting there drinking. And then this televangelist comes on. And the televangelist, he basically goes, I want everybody to breathe in. And hardly anybody's listening, but he's silent. And then he talks again. I want everybody to breathe in. Take a deep breath. And people kind of stop, they're looking up, and they're all starting to take this deep breath. And he says, God's as close as your breath. And that's why you should know about Jesus Christ. And so the whole audience is listening to this because he got their attention with drama and surprise. What can you do with your product and service to do the same thing? And then you have the Flesh Kincaid, the FK reading. All of our copy is put through the FK, where you have 8.5% 5 or less. Otherwise, you're not going to get a good response. It's absolute requirement on any copy. And always sell the benefits, not the features. In today's market, you have to do this. The feature for investment software provides real-time market data analysis, but the benefit, you'll have immediate access to the same in-depth information as a professional trader. But the ultimate benefit, pinpoint your next big profit opportunity with the same tools that Wall Street traders have at a fraction of the cost. And then at the end of your copy presentation, here is the rules for whether it's banner ads, whether it's Facebook, whether it's landing page, email. You want to ask these questions. 1, does it grab my attention right away? Does it recognize self-interest, pain, and fear? Do I recognize immediately a good value proposition? Is it written to me and me alone? Do I feel the writer cares about me? Do I feel the writer believes what he is saying? Do I believe the writer? Why should I buy now and not later? Everybody wants to say maybe later. Is there an alternative? Maybe if I went on the line, I'd find something else. You've got to answer those questions. And do I feel safe and comfortable about responding? The credibility. And then trend number 25, the key to success, the offer. Caleb, do you want to kind of explain about the offer?
Yeah, if you haven't paid attention to your offer, you might be leaving sales on the table. An offer should give a discount first and foremost. When you give a 5% discount, a prospect feels 100% better and more excited to purchase whatever product or service you're offering. So pay attention to what kind of discount you can give and incorporate it into your offer. You want to offer premiums or some kind of additional benefit for them acting now. It can be an informational premium. It can be an additional item. or an additional service that you offer, perks, and you always have to have a call to action. And that call to action should be very specific. It should be concise. It should be direct. And it should encourage the person to act right now and not tomorrow, not in 5 minutes, and give them some kind of incentive to do that. Here's an example of a very creative offer that we were able to give. This was for a company that was raising capital under some new exemptions. In this case, we were able to work with Kevin Harrington, who's one of the first sharks on Shark Tank. He was an investor or a seed investor in one of these companies that we worked with, where if an investor wanted to make an investment in this company, we offered that they could go to a New Year's Eve party in Times Square with a bunch of celebrities that were involved in this company. They could also go to the VIP suite at Coachella. They would have tickets to the Grammys after party in Los Angeles. They would be able to go to red carpet movie premieres in Los Angeles and New York. And if the investors were not interested in these things, they could then donate these to have a tax write-off to offset their investment. They could donate them to charity. So it was a great offer. It was very successful. People loved it. And you should always take a look at what you can offer, get creative, and make it as benefit oriented as possible.
All right, and then trend number 26, just real quickly, never use your corporate site for your marketing. Always have a separate landing page. And like we said before, make it mobile optimized. Don't have any navigation distractions, and use a floater for data collection. It is worth it. It works well. And then use only 1 to 2 steps. Have a positive acceptance statement on. I'm sorry. Trend number 27. Trying to get through this, folks. Just a couple of minutes left. New breakthroughs in shopping cart abandonment. No navigation distractions. That's one of the biggest problems you have with a shopping cart. Navigation distractions. Keep away from it. Have only 1 or 2 steps in ordering process. That's another major killer when you have 3 or 4 steps. Always have a positive acceptance statement at the very top. Make sure you have the premium and guaranteed and visuals that Caleb was talking about. Make sure on the shopping cart they see those premiums. They see the guarantee, and that there be a cart abandonment email. And then, of course, you want to have cart abandonment retargeting. And that's very critical. Trend number 28, the new credibility. Here's an example of a chart we created that's a comparison chart with star ratings. It's very important that you have star ratings on any of your marketing. You use video testimonials for credibility, traditional testimonials, Amazon, that you can be found on Amazon. You know, when possible, have live phone or web chat. These are all things that give you credibility. You need it in any of the marketing you're doing today. And then finally, trend 29 is something that if you have a database, you need to pay attention to. And if you don't have a database, but you need capital, you probably should pay attention to. Caleb, you want to give a minute of what the Jobs Act crowdfunding megatrend is?
Sure. You may have heard of crowdfunding. It's a new way of generating capital to expand your business or launch your business. There was a law that was passed a few years ago that allows you to file an exemption and begin advertising to investors to raise capital for your expansion or your launch. And it's also a great way to IPO your company. So a lot of companies have filed these different exemptions. I'd be happy to talk to you about the different ones that are out there for different size companies. The ones that have IPO'd have been very successful. They've raised in the range of $500,000 to $50 million, and some big names that are using this exemption. Eminem is selling his royalties for his catalog of music. Bobby Flay, the chef, has raised capital under this exemption. Fat Burger, the cheeseburger restaurant, has raised capital under this exemption, and a slew of others. I'd be happy to talk to you more about it if you're interested.
Yeah, and like I said, if you don't have a database, but you want to raise capital, whether it's private or public, this is a good vehicle. And we've got this special report that's free. You're welcome to read. Just let us know. And also that magazine, Entrepreneurship, that explains the marketing aspect of it. But the second part is, if you do have that database and you want to raise capital and you still want to stay public, and you have that database, we can raise that money from that database very successfully. So those are the 29 trends. Putting it all together, I hope that's been beneficial. I'm sorry we went a little bit over what we had planned, tried to get through it fast, but love to talk to you about success, about how we can increase your profitability. As an agency, we work on strategy and copy and art. We have account service management. We do all the media placement, list placement, production, modeling. Caleb, anything else we should add?
No, if you have any additional questions, feel free to email me at caleb@cdmginc.com. You can call us at 310-212-5727. If you'd like any special reports on any specific area that we covered, I'd be happy to provide those, including copywriting, digital strategy, direct mail strategy, verticals like alternative health supplement marketing, investment marketing, those new exemptions we discussed under the Jobs Act. We'd be happy to help, and I'd be happy to provide those different reports.
Very good. Thanks, everyone. We appreciate you coming in and listening and your time. I trust that you got some very good ideas and value out of it. Do email us if you have any specific questions. Thanks again.
Great. Thanks so much.